Chien Andalou is one of the strangest films you'll ever see. I am not exaggerating. And if you're thinking, how could something so old possibly be weirder than some of the things I see in this decade? I think this video will convince you if just by the clips alone. The name of the film, Un Chien Andalou, means the Andalusian dog in French, a title which will make about as much sense as the rest of the film. Okay, now just some quick background information before we get into it. It was made in 1929 by filmmaker Luis Buñuel in collaboration with the now famous Salvador Dali. It's not completely known the extent to which Dali was involved past contributing to the script, but the film is surrealist, definitely the style that Dali would have enjoyed. It starts off with an uncomfortable scene, so if you have a weak stomach, maybe you'll want to look away for a few seconds. Mirroring the image made by a low-hanging cloud in the moon, a woman's eye is sliced with a razor blade by a man. Actually, this was the eye of an already dead calf that they got just to film this. The next scene, with no continuity from the previous scene, shows a man riding a bicycle and wearing what appears to be women's clothing, possibly a French maid outfit or a nun's outfit or something. Next we see a woman in an apartment, the same woman who just had her eyes sliced open, who happens to glance out of her window to see the man, who for no apparent reason grinds to a halt on his bike and collapses on the side of the street. The woman rushes over towards the dazed man and begins smothering him with concerned kisses. Is there a relationship between these two characters? We don't know. The next cut shows the woman in what I can only guess is a flashback. She is back in her apartment with a striped box. She takes out men's clothing from the box and arranges them on a bed, and after staring at the clothes for some time, one article disappears for no reason. She looks to the side to see a man, the same man from the bike before, staring at his hand with fascination. On closer inspection, we see that bugs are crawling out from inside of his hand, but the man doesn't seem too concerned about this. The woman comes over to look. They share a look of concern, I think, which would be natural if you saw bugs crawling from inside of your hand. Then the image of the bugs reminds the woman of a woman's unshaved armpit for some reason, which then conjures up the image of a sea urchin. You really can't make this stuff up. Next, another random cut shows an androgynous woman poking a disembodied hand with a stick as a crowd of interested onlookers are pushed back by policemen. We see that our two characters are observing the situation from their window. The policeman picks up the hand and places it in the striped box we saw a minute ago. This box, or possibly the hand, apparently means a lot to the androgynous woman. The crowd dissipates and the woman is left alone in the middle of the street. Our male character watches with intense interest as cars barely miss hitting the woman, as if wishing to see her get hit. Eventually she is hit, and the man's morbid desire is satisfied. This inspires some kind of inner demons in the man, and he suddenly gropes the woman. He corners her, then begins to grope her some more. He imagines her completely naked, so I can't show that part since I don't want this video to be taken down. Anyways, as he does this, he goes into an ecstatic state, and blood or saliva dribbles out of the corner of his mouth. The woman finally escapes his clutches and is backed into a corner yet again. The man doesn't want to risk getting smacked in the head by whatever the woman grabbed from the wall, so he hatches an idea. He picks up two pieces of rope from the ground that came out of nowhere and pulls. These ropes are attached to a string of random objects, the biggest being two grand pianos and two dead donkeys that somehow materialize there without us noticing. The man is compelled to keep pulling, as if pulling the ropes will allow him to capture the woman. As the man continues to pull, we see two men dressed, what I can only guess like 16th century priests or something, that are now attached to the bundle of random objects. Fun fact, these two men are in fact Luis Buñuel and Salvador Dali themselves making a cameo appearance. While the man continues to struggle, the woman bolts for the door and makes her escape. The man tries to hold the door open, but she slams the door on his hand, which is covered with insects again. The bicycle man, who is still on the bed, wakes up. Then an unidentified man bursts into the room and begins to berate him about something, but the man is unresponsive. The mysterious man rips off the women's clothing from the man, revealing a normal suit underneath, and throws the clothes out of the window. It is then revealed that the other man is the same character, or at least is played by the same actor. He's handed two books, which through sheer will or superpower or something, change into guns, and he shoots down the other man in a hail of gunfire. When the man falls, he has been transported to a forest where a naked woman is sitting in the grass, then vanishes into thin air. A number of men rush out of nowhere and carry the man away. We go back to the woman, who sees a moth with a skull design on its back, I guess informing her that the man has died, though I'm not really sure why she would care since he was just trying to grope her with his insect-infested hand. The man appears before her, suddenly covering his mouth with his hand. When he takes it away, his mouth has apparently been erased from his face. The woman then decides that it's a good time to apply lipstick angrily, and watches as a patch of hair materializes where the man's mouth used to be. Oh yeah, and he apparently stole her armpit hair to do this, which the woman is extremely upset about. She leaves the room, regarding the man with utter contempt, before discovering, without any surprise, that she's now outside on a rocky beach. She finds her beloved man again, and as they walk along the beach, they find something. It's the striped box from before, now smashed to pieces, along with the women's clothing that had been thrown out of the window earlier. And our happy couple walks away from the camera. So it's a happy ending, right? Wrong! The following spring, according to the French intertitle, the two characters are now dead and half buried in the sand. So, the end, I guess. So that's the plot of the film, but there isn't really a plot. And as you probably noticed, there is a distinct lack of Andalusian dogs, so make of that what you will. I'm like 99% sure that there wasn't supposed to be any meaning behind this film, since it's intentionally surreal. But if you have any ideas, or at least a narrative that matches up with the footage, please let me know your theories in the comments. This is the weirdest film I've ever seen, and I've seen some weird films. As you can probably imagine, this was not a smash at the box office, nor was it intended to be. It was, I would think, shown exclusively in art house theaters in Europe, or just among groups of fellow artists. But anyway, I hope this gave you a good laugh, or maybe it creeped you out. Let me know. So I would recommend this film if you're into surreal things. It's certainly interesting in an artsy sort of way. Or just something to watch with your friends. But I won't be held responsible if they stop talking to you afterwards. I didn't show the whole film because I wanted to make this video concise, but let me know in the comments if you think I should do a full, unscripted commentary of this. This is the perfect video to do that kind of thing, but maybe this one was enough, I don't know. Anyway, if you like this video, and if you're interested in 1920s pop culture or events, please consider subscribing to my channel for more. Well, that's all for now, all you sheiks and gals out there, but stay tuned for more tales from the Jazz Age.